Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in the garage for another first impressions video with a few pistols that I was able to take to the range recently, and I want to share with you my experiences. Now, I do have to give the caveat that this is not a formal review. You will not be seeing any shooting footage here, and it is not in any way a complete review. I'm not going to go over everything about the guns because that is not the purpose of this channel. If you found this channel and the video because of the title, please go check out my main channel. There is a link in the description below, and that's where you'll see all of my proper reviews that I film with a nice camera and microphone setup and all that. This is my behind the scenes channel, i.e. the Texas Gun Vault 2, where I talk to my biggest fans and subscribers that want to interact with me on this level, because different people like different stuff. Some people like the more polished kind of, not, I shouldn't say theatric, but more of the programmatic things. And then some people just like the off-the-cuff videos where I just literally turn on my camera and just have a conversation. So that's what this is. So please don't be upset and tell me in the comment section below, this is the worst review ever, I can't believe he didn't show any shooting footage, because this is not a review. It's just me talking to my biggest fans casually about two guns that I just took to the range that I will be making proper reviews on. All right, so I went to the range last night, and you guys know what has been in the lineup for reviews, and I try to mix things up between different guns that are on loan to the channel from various people. So I'm kind of working on different piles at the same time. So let me get these out and we'll go over them, and I'll talk about them in the order in which I reviewed them. So I took one to the range that's in 45, one that is in 9. Okay, so let's clean this off. All right, so let's first talk about this bad boy right here, the Glock 21 Gen 4. Now, as you probably already know, I have a number of 45 caliber Glocks on loan to the channel from my friend Bill. And I thought it would probably be advantageous of me to start off with the OG model of Glock that's chambered in 45, the 21. So this is going to be kind of like the baseline. Now, I have never shot any of the Gen 4, or I don't know, I'm assuming there's a Gen 5 now, of the larger framed, the ones in 10 millimeter, the ones in 45. So this was kind of my first foray into that. And I have to say that I'm neither disappointed nor am I excited about it. Now, in full disclosure, I'm kind of a Glock fan. Now, I'm not a Glock fanboy in that, Matt, wow, everything Glock does is amazing or any of that. But when it comes to the polymer striker-fired world, I actually like Glocks in general because of a number of reasons. They're kind of the OG in this realm that was, big. They've been around for a long time. I actually like the way that they look. I know they're very generic. There's, what's that, Marine Corps rifleman's thing. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Actually, this one's not mine. This one is on loan to the channel, but you guys get the point. They all kind of look the same, but I actually kind of like them. I know. It's a personal preference. And I like how consistent they are from model to model. Typically, my same complaints, problems, or things that I like are exactly the same, because the only thing that changes from model to model is the caliber and the size. So many of my thoughts on Glocks across the board are the same. So that's it. Why I like these, okay? So that's kind of my, I guess, stated bias, but in no way am I a Glock fanboy. I just happen to gravitate towards Glocks. So how did this thing shoot? Well, it shot like a Glock, okay? In that it was an attack driver, and it was okay. I shot it low and to the left, and I know some people are going to say, Jason, it's because you have too much finger in the trigger guard, this and that. I mean, it wasn't bad. I actually think on the larger framed Glocks, it's because of the width of this frame. My biggest complaint with the 45 and the 10 millimeter Glocks is the width. And I got relatively larger hands with thick old fingers, and I really can't get a full grip on this thing. They're just gigantic, and I am not running any back straps on this particular model. As you know, the Gen 4s have the MBS, or the multiple backstrap system. And if you don't put on one of those, it's kind of the smallest one. And for me, it's still too big. And it's not that the length of pull is the issue, it's the width. That's really what it is. And I don't really feel like I get my grip on the gun and I can really stage that trigger, get the center of my finger on that trigger just right. It's a little bit awkward, and I definitely pull the gun a little bit to the left because of its size. It's not fit to my hand great, and I'm also not a big fan of the finger grooves. Now, I'm fine. One of my favorite generations is the Gen 3. It does have the finger grooves. I prefer the Gen 1 or the Gen 1, 2, or 5. Those are the ones I kind of prefer. But when it comes to the finger groove ones, I prefer the Gen 3s. So it doesn't necessarily always line up with my fingers, and that's like the big problems with finger grooves. If you happen to have a size of hand that it doesn't line up, it's not going to work for you. So my groups with this gun were what I would consider duty accuracy, in that it works fine. Everything was on target. I had no problems, no malfunctions, of course. It just wasn't a tack driver. And maybe, too, I am a little bit spoiled because I have been reviewing so many high-end, like 2011s, custom guns from companies like Wilson Combat, Watchtower, Atlas Gunworks, and so forth, that I've kind of gotten used to those, and so I don't shoot this one as well. But also, 45 is no longer a favorite caliber of mine. It's too thick. It's too, I'm talking about, if you look at how they get stuffed into a magazine, they're just, they create wide guns, and the projectiles themselves are generally subsonic and slow moving. And I really feel with the new technology we have in ballistics that 9mm 40 and 357 SIG outperform 45 all day. Okay? It doesn't mean I don't think it's, or that I think it's bad. I still think it's a great caliber. It's just one that I have been gravitating away from. But Glock also, I think, made a big mistake when it comes to the design of these guns because of the width of the cartridge, and that's why the grip is so big. So it has a different recoil impulse, of course, than 9mm. It's not as snappy. It's more of a thud. Very, very low recoil for 45, and I just shot it okay. So pretty much everything I love about Glocks, I'm going to like about this gun, and everything I don't like about Glocks, I'm not going to like about this gun. It's going to be pretty par for the course, and I would say that this thing is probably going to get 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5, just because I didn't shoot it as well, but that's going to be more of its interface with me than the accuracy of the gun, okay? So that's my thoughts on the Glock 21 Gen 4. The other gun I took to the range is this one here. Now, this is going to be on the other end of the spectrum. This is the Watchtower Demolitia. So this is a 2011 pistol that was made in collaboration with Demolition Ranch. And I've seen some other videos and reviews on this gun, and Watchtower kind of puts out these collaborations with various YouTubers. And this is a very interesting gun when it comes to my thoughts on 2011s. The features and how it fits in my hand is pretty much the same as all other 2011s. But its performance is very different. I was thinking about this when I was shooting it at the range, that when I was taking my time with this gun and trying to stage the trigger and be very accurate with it, I found that I kind of wanted to run it faster than I wanted to because of the trigger reset. It has, let me see here, if I can explain this. I'll try to come up with a good analogy here, but it's a pretty good reset when it comes to its length, but then you have a little bit of take up back to the wall, and I kind of feel like the gun breaks pretty light. And for me, when I'm trying to take my time, I end up rushing my shots and I'm not as accurate. I'm still very accurate with it, but I'm not as accurate as I could be. But when I start to shoot this gun fast, it truly shines. Like, this is the most accurate 2011 pistol I've reviewed when I'm doing like the mag dump test, the quick magazine change test. I was very impressed by that. And I guess the analogy I would use is like the SR-71 Blackbird. If you guys know what that plane is, it was because I guess there's no longer any flying examples. It was the fastest air-breathing jet ever. It was a spy plane for the United States Air Force. And it could go like Mach 3.4, okay? And it would travel at 100,000 feet. And that plane, because of what it was designed to do and to go so fast, and the fact that it heated up so much because it's going so fast and you have all that friction with the air, the outside skin of that plane, which was made of titanium or a titanium alloy, literally would have huge gaps in it when it was sitting on the tarmac and on the runway. Because as it heats up, that titanium would expand and all those gaps would be filled up. But if everything was tight on the ground, the plane would literally break apart in the air. So when they would fill it with gasoline, or not gasoline, jet fuel or whatever fuel it needed, it would literally like be leaking on the runway. And as soon as it took off, it had to go meet up with a tanker in the air to refill the tanks. And then it would go off to, the stratosphere and go up to Mach, 2 velocities and above. This gun is kind of like that, in that it's not a great gun to shoot slow, but it's an amazing gun to shoot fast. And when you're shooting this gun fast, it's a really cool experience. When you're shooting it slow, you tend to rush your shots. I don't think it's as accurate, and the compensator, actually, this is porting. So this is not a compensator. You can see the porting on this barrel. Look how many ports it is. 5. So there's 10 total ports. And honestly, that is overkill if you're shooting slow. I noticed that when I was just taking my time on the first kind of like 2 mags, I'm just trying to see what the gun groups like, I am getting so much blast, so much gas, so much flash coming out of this compensator. It's kind of ridiculous. But when you start shooting it fast, the gun doesn't have any muzzle rise at all. So does that kind of make any sense to you? That it's really designed to be run really fast. If you take your time and shoot it slow, it's not as good. So, I don't know. That's kind of a long story and a long way of explaining that. But that was my experience with this gun. Overall, it was pretty good. Not the most accurate 2011 I've shot, with the exception of when I was literally doing mag dumps with it, because I could get pretty tight groups. And of course, I'm just point shooting and going for the center of the target. And I was getting like amazing groups. I was like, how in the world am I shooting it that accurate when I'm not even like looking through the sights? I'm just pointing the gun at the target and just pulling that trigger as fast as I possibly could. Yeah, so the features on it are really cool if you're doing it that way, if you're running the gun that way. I'm not really a big fan of the aesthetics. I think the gold is a little bit too gaudy, but that's just a personal thing. You might love it, okay? You might absolutely love it, and if you do, I am not criticizing your tastes, okay? That's why they offer, cars in different colors. They offer different models. They offer different things for different tastes. And for me, the gold on any gun is just too gaudy, because I am not a gangster. I'm not a drug lord. I'm not any of that. I kind of like my more tactical stuff. And when you start blinging your gun out with gold, it doesn't have that look. But as I said, if you love it, that's all that matters. Okay? And I know the owner of this pistol, D, loves this gun. So in no way am I criticizing him, his choice, your choice, or anybody's taste. So please don't be upset with me when I say that. But that was my thoughts on this. So I would have to say, in general, my experience with this was very positive. It's probably going to be a 4 out of 5 star gun. Somewhere, I still have to go back and look at the range footage. Overall, it was okay. I think the grip texture, a little bit on the sandpapery, aggressive side. It does have a grip safety, which I do like. I absolutely love that on these 2011s with such light triggers. Porting might be a little bit overkill. And I'm going to give them a couple of points for the aesthetics, because finally we have a 2011 company that has, it's not necessarily completely flat here on the front. They actually have, you know, put a little bit of an angle in it, so it's not as ugly to me. I do like that. So there you go. So my thoughts on the Glock 21 Gen 4 and the Watchtower Demolitia. So these are the next videos that I will be reviewing, or sorry, next guns that I will be reviewing and making proper range reports on. And of course, when these get done, I can tell you the video I uploaded last night for the Wilson Combat Project 1 is set for release for December the 18th of 2025. That's how many videos. Remember, I have 2 range reports a week up until that time already filmed and set for release. So these 2 guns will be the week of Christmas of this year. Yeah, that's how far ahead I am. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think about either of these guns, and if you understand my analogy when it comes to this gun, and have you ever shot a gun that's like that shoots better fast than it does slow. What else do I have on the table today to talk about? I did, and of course, this is nothing about these guns. This is just kind of chit-chat here. I often go to my P.O. box about once a week when I'm not expecting anything, just to see if anybody sends me stuff. Sometimes people do. Sometimes people want to send me something. But I got something in the mail that I was not expecting, and it's not from a person, it's from a company. And I kind of wanted to share it with you, and I didn't know this was coming. I got some more stuff from Olight, because I am currently working on, actually, I already finished the one review, you guys have already seen it, of the Osight X, which reminds me, if you are one of my local fans and subscribers that lends me guns, I need your help, okay? In fact, let me go and get this. Hold on, one second. I need your help. I still have to do the review on the Osight S. Okay, this is the enclosed one that everyone's all excited about. But I have one problem. I don't have any guns that use this footprint, which is the, oh geez, someone told me, it's like the RCNS or whatever it's called. I have no idea right now. I forgot the name. I know some people say, you shouldn't review guns and products if you don't know your research. I just don't know off the top of my head. Just cool your britches, okay? Just cool your britches. I'll have everything right. But if you guys know the footprint I'm talking about, because everyone has their own footprint now, if you happen to have a pistol that uses this footprint that I could review it on, I would be greatly appreciative, because I need something to put this on, and I can't find anything. This doesn't fit onto a rail, so I can't do it on an AR. I need a pistol with that tinier footprint. So if you are one of my local fans and subscribers that lends me guns to the channel, let me know if you have anything this would work on that I could borrow, please, so I can properly review this sight, because I don't have anything. All of my guns pretty much use the RMR footprint. All right, but they sent me a little flashlight. I'm going to review this one, I guess. I'll do this as like one of my product reviews, the i3E EOS mono output LED keychain flashlight. So a little EDC gear review that nobody cares about, but I actually like making. And they also sent me a little challenge coin. Check this out. I guess because I was one of the people that got to review their product at launch, they sent this to me. So it says, I guess it has the Osight S on it, and it has their little circle for their charging for 25, 50, 100% on this side. And on this side, it says Osight, and it says, See the Power New Brand Release Commemorative Edition. So they're very proud of this, that they sent a challenge coin. So I was not expecting that. I think I have 2 challenge coins that people have sent me. You know, that would be really cool. You know what I need for my shelf? I need to get one of those challenge coin holders. And I put my couple, like, I have like 3 now with this. I should have a challenge coin holder in the back. That's what I need to do. So, yeah. Ooh, I also noticed this one has a little ding on the side. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, this one's been dropped. And no, I did not drop it. I literally just got back from the post office. So, but anyway, it is a cool challenge coin. So I need to get a challenge coin holder. And then what else can we talk about here real fast? Oh, I have a question for some of you because I've seen 2 people now make a video on Glock and the future of Glock. And that some people are saying that Glock needs to do something to innovate to stay relevant because so many other companies are competing with them now. And I was kind of curious what you thought because as I mentioned in the opening of this video, I am kind of a Glock fan, not a fanboy. They're not the greatest gun ever. I don't look at them as like the pinnacle. I just think that in their price point for what they do, they're great. But I do think some people are making some very valid points because another company I love is Colt. I love Colt. But the problem with Colt is for a long time, they have made 3 guns, essentially. The 1911, the Single Action Army, and the AR-15. Okay? That's kind of like their bread and butter. And that's it. And the few times they have gone out to innovate, they've had failures, like the M2000 and a couple of other things. But it's because they weren't innovating all along. But then you have companies like Kel-Tec that all they do is innovate, and their products quality sucks. So I think there's like a balance a company has to strike between coming out with new products, but also creating quality products. And I do have to admit that Glock is kind of stale, okay? Throughout all their generations, sizes, calibers, you name it, and even when they come up with a new feature, was it an optics plate or a multiple backstrap or something else, it's still a Glock. But I'm worried that if they start to innovate and change things big, they're not going to be successful. And then it could hurt them. So what do you think? Do you think Glock is going to start suffering unless they innovate? And do you think if they innovate, they're going to make a big mistake? Because I will tell you one product that I think they would be successful with. And you guys probably do not remember, but I have the memory of an elephant because sometimes I'll see something that I really like or I think is interesting and it will just stick in this head forever. There was a contract, and I want to say it was for the British military. And they were soliciting contracts for various new rifle platforms. And Glock submitted an AR-15. If you look it up online, you'll find it. It looked pretty cool. And I bet you if they came out with their own AR-15, even though it's just an AR-15 and it wouldn't be that adventurous, I bet you $1 million they'd sell tons of them. So, what do you think? Do you think they need to innovate? And if they did innovate, would they need to come up with something completely new? Would they need to change this platform? Or would you want to see something that's more of a legacy gun like an AR-15 from them? And do you think that would be successful? So there you go. So if you watch to the end of the video today, the word of the day is innovate. Innovate is, or innovation, I'll take both, is the word of the day. So I know that you watched to the end and that you are a true vault dweller. So tell me what you think about any gun I talked about today, the Glock, the Watchtower. If you understand what I was talking about when it comes to my thoughts on those guns, what do you think about the challenge coin and the challenge coin holder I probably should buy? And does anybody have a gun that takes this footprint? Once again, I don't have it right off the top of my head. I'm so sorry. Don't yell at me. Tell me how stupid I am. I just forgot the name of that footprint. And I guess that's it. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for joining me here in the garage. And as always, thanks for watching.